Good evening, Dr. Dodge here. One of the things that I love just as much as playing with diecast is model trains. So I have this trolley line that runs around and does a loop, and then it comes back and goes into the tunnel and pops out on the other side. You can see him sitting over there. What I am going to do, because it's alright to watch something drive in a circle, but with trains it's more fun to back them around and move them around and do stuff. So you can see we've got some heavy equipment that's moving in. Only one guy across the bridge at the time, and they have got traffic backed up forever. Oddly enough, we can't start and let everybody pass until the second guy in the back comes back and Dr. Dodge's mini-me gets up here. So what we are going to do, because I lay my tracks using water-soluble glue, I used the trusty Dremel tool with the cut-off wheel on it. Whacked off this chunk. Annoy the cow with the bulldozer for now. We're putting in a switch track. We'll reuse this, which is actually very vintage. It's an early edition Atlas thing. I got the box down there. It's probably from like the 50s. And then we're going to come out here with another set of track. We're actually going to go out over the top of everything. See if I can get it hung there good enough. So we're going to come off a siding and create a bit of a trestle, but we're also going to put a switch track in here. So it also comes back up in here. The reason we're going to do that is to make it interesting. We've got locomotives and we've got cars, and it's kind of nice to have sidings to stick them on. So this is going to be a scrapyard right here, and this is going to be the entrance to a coal mine and also where they dump the coal out onto the siding as an added bonus. Okay, I have kit bashed those two guys out of one of these. So you can see how that, changing it, you can change the scale to make it fit with 1/64 scale. It comes off more as a narrow gauge. And the thing is trolley lines, there were many trolley lines in the United States that were 3.5 foot, which are exactly what HO is in 1/64 scale. Also, we have this guy. He's a repowered diecast, obviously Surfing School Bus. This is a chopped cable car from Bachman. I'm around here. But those, when you compare them in size with that, they make beautiful little tiny locomotives, and I'm repowering them with slot car motors. Higher RPM slot car motors actually have a lot of bottom end torque and will go really slow too with a small amount of voltage instead of being all jerky and back and forth. But the next project is putting that in Good evening, Dr. Dodge here. I've pulled out all of the paper and all of that. That was the only thing that was made the hill. You can see the construction that holds the trolley line up there. It's 2x4 spines. This stuff is just 1/4-inch underlayment, so it has no structure. So that's what the 2x4s that run through it are. What we're gonna do, this is gonna be a mine. This is gonna be a scrapyard area over here. I'm gonna tie onto the end of the trolley line, run some track back that way, and put a whole nother siding over the top with 2 more switches. And the foam will support it because I want those switches on the top to all be hanging in the air using stuff like this type of a look. Oh, and by the way, I decided to lose the logging railroad because it seems we've pretty much harvested all the trees. Lots of stumps. I also wanted to show this. This is how I build my HO track. 1/4-inch underlayment. I make the whole track shape first out of that, and then slowly bend the track to make it conform and then glue it. You can see how amazingly structural it is. I am just going to use that probably when I build the big track outside, because I can just have it disappear into a tunnel on one side and pop out on the other side. But the corners are absolutely ludicrous. That's what I did for my main line down here. But the trolley line is just directly attached to the underlayment because I didn't want that tall roadbed thing going on. So now to start carving some foam. This should be interesting. Good evening, Dr. Dodge here. I've been hacking and whacking on some pink foam, but more than that, I've got my bypass track that goes all the way back here off the side of the trolley line, and that gives me a whole nother second railroad. I believe what I'm going to do is about where the little steam engine thing is sitting right there, I'm going to chop it right there, and this will be its own independent railway. This will get something like this. And something like this. All done out of trestle material. The wooden thing was for the hanging bridge thing, and I didn't like how it worked, but it's going to be a good kit bash fascia for where the mine to the coal mine is, and it brings all of the coal up, and we load all the cars even out to the railway out here. We have plenty of construction material on site. We're trying to do as best as we can. I think poor Jake has freaking gotten backed up over that, and we're gonna have to deal with that in a later date. And we got another bulldozer coming in. Not sure about that black car. So here's our progress so far. I took bunch of random pieces, just glued them all together with the hot glue gun. The old trusty hot glue gun. The whole assembly is all glued together. Get it out of here without tearing up my track too bad. Just used a, I call it the Ginsu knife, but it's just one of these serrated blade knives. Do all my shaping with. Use the X-Acto knife a little bit. And I also have a jeweler's saw that I have a piece of my bandsaw blade in there from one of my broken blades. And it does pretty good for coarse cutting this stuff too. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfectly nice and smooth. It actually helps both the overcoat stick to it, and also gives it a much nicer natural look. So it's ready for overcoat now. So I will be painting it with a mixture of wood glue and acrylic brown, and that will go over the whole top of it, soaking it into the cracks real good and all of that, and it'll make that thing just solid as a rock. Well, good evening, Dr. Dodge here. I was going to complete the last set of videos, but then I managed to put in one more good day before I got to walk away from this. I've got the wood trestle stuff installed. I've got my little buildings installed. And I've also got the wood trestle for where the scrapyard is going to be. They'll load cars off of here. It's a very big drop, as is this side. You can see it's all this wood stuff all buried in here, all the way to the back piece there. It's kind of hard to see in that direction. You can see it from here. We have our things that bring the coal up into the hoppers, called tipples. Then we have our heavy duty assembly here that basically it's going to get a walkway, and then the railroad track will come down through the rest of it. All of those pieces are individual pieces of wood, every one of them.